Hey guys, this is architect Karan Desai, and in today's episode of Khabar, we are collaborating with Legends of Design. We have my namesake Karan Mehta here, and he's going to introduce the legend sitting next to us. It's going to be a fun-filled conversation, and let me take you through. So Karan, please.
Yeah. So hi, I'm Karan Mehta, and today we are in collaboration with Khabar with Karan. So we are here for a reason. We have a show coming up called Legends of Design. This show is basically about the journey of the iconic architects of India. Everyone knows the story of Sachin Tendulkar. Everyone knows the story of Mahendra Singh Dhoni or Mr. Bachchan or Mr. Shah Rukh Khan. So this show is basically to showcase the journey of our legends from our industry, that is architecture. So today we have with us our dear architect Hiren Patel, Principal Architect of HPA Ahmedabad. Then we have respected Dr. Gopal Nair Shankar, Chairman of Habitat Group Trivandrum, and the airport man, Professor Charanjit Shah from Delhi.
So my first question to you is that how is architecture different today than from the day that you started?
I am very fortunate that I am in practice for the last now 55 years.
Wow.
And since independence, 1947, like was born in 49. So I've experienced that journey, that how the whole system of designing, system of living, system of understanding, the like 3 P's, people, place and purpose, is being understood or being misunderstood. Now today what I see, I've seen the great time of Le Corbusier to Joseph Wallenstein to all those contemporary like Arvind Sir and Rajawal to Kuldeep Singh and all those people, Charles Correa, Doshi Saab, and now when I see from that sustainable architecture to now glass architecture.
Right.
So it's, it's like I think there's a miss. It's more of global empowerment than intervention, and we see that something where India is so rich, powerful in heritage, the ethnical values, and I think we've forgotten that in terms of up to the independence. And today I am seeing that there was a gap of about 20 odd years where I see a lot of that sort of a very jazzy and flourishing sort of a timescale architecture. But today I see that we are now a touch of this subcontinent, and today's architecture has a belief, understanding, where we're talking about the great heritage, the belongingness, where like my country, my belonging, my all that. And I think that it's a good time for architecture, and we need to understand that how this phase can generate a new language of architecture, and we say yes, it is Indian subcontinental language of architecture, which probably the world could really look into.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. So would you like to add something on that?
Yeah, what he say absolutely right. Yes, he has a practice of 55 years. I have practice of 35 years. So when I joined the architecture, maybe you were not born. So or maybe you were in the third standard or something like that. Yes. So yes, we missed the best part of the history where the country was become independent, and the kind of transit mode which is we just cherish with the history books and the movie which Sir has seen by his own eyes. But yes, we are like from the beginning of understanding of architecture till now, I would segregate 2 things. One is things are moving, it's a constant, so it keeps moving and it keeps improving or not improving, one can say. But we are in the madness, so nothing is in our control. The way country is growing is all madness. So as architects, we are accountable to just see that we don't do the mistakes, otherwise we have to redo. But that's okay, redo is also happen, no? The way we take the retake, it takes little more time. So in that case, it will take more years, but so not to worry really. Because we are young people, person will get fascinated with the glass, how can you stop them? Because I still remember when Office Contracts did the canopy projector in the mall, we were looking, wow. So now after so many of practice, I realized, oh, little small structure by Charles Correa in Gandhi Ashram, which has to be wow and not. So that's the fascination to the material. So what for me, my journey is also like that what I used to get fascinated about it, and slowly it's a learning. So for me today, architecture doesn't matter. It's about experience. So not the form and structures are matter. We are architect. We are accountable. We are trained to do something best. But what is beyond that? So it's the spirituality to the things. People should get happiness. Will my building give happiness to the people? That's where I would like to work.
Nice. Okay. So, like, I just have a 10-year experience. Okay. So
No, that way I am experienceless. No experience. Because I'm not an architect.
And you know, the fun part is like today, I can't imagine me or my practice working without AutoCAD. Okay.
Absolutely.
So to fathom the fact that you guys worked when there was no AutoCAD and none of those,
Yeah.
and still made it so big today is like I can't even think about it. Okay. But you know, like how you guys said, and that belongingness of the language of an Indian design, the Indian design language that we can be proud of. And I could be wrong, but I'd like your opinion on that. Is that when I was in Europe for a month right now, okay, I went to Poland after that, and Poland has the old town and the new site. I don't know if you guys have seen it. The Poland old town, all right, back in those days also I felt was so much forward in terms of like the planning, in terms of materials, in terms of colors. And if I have to trace it back to our country, I feel that we were like 100 years behind, you know. So as much as I love what we have to offer, but somewhere I felt that, oh, these were like the bare necessities perhaps which we could have incorporated in our designing while we were building all of this. Maybe there was lack of knowledge or exposure or whatever that is. But today if you ask me that, okay, if I want to bring something down to my country where, of course, if the glass facade is way too modern, but if I have to do something like that, I would still want to bring in this, somewhere this European influence into my Indian design language where I feel that I could still make it better, you know. And here we have Sir who does like mud architecture and inspired by Laurie Baker and all of that. So these are two contrasting things that I am discussing with what perhaps you guys said and what you work right now. So what's your take on it?
You see, globalization, as we say it, has brought in a paradigm change in the design domain, you know, globalization. One thing that we should understand is the legacy and profundity, depth of Indian architecture, especially of Indian vernacular architecture, is so immense. They were always process-based. They were always people-centered. They were always value-based. Architecture, actually, when you look at the change of domain, right from the north to south, you can see these changes in the vocabularies.
Yes.
The vocabulary of materials, vocabulary of design, vocabularies of technologies, you know. And unfortunately, somewhere in between, we have lost it. Where else in the world? I work across the globe. I'm telling you, where else in the world will you have such a vocabulary of building materials like what we have in our country? Where else will you have such dimensions of resources, human resources, skilled human resources? You know, eating carpenters, for it. I mean, you won't find such skills elsewhere in the world. These are all because it was process-based. It was built on faith domain, in the faith in the legacy, faith in the technology, faith in the materials, and faith in the values. Architecture always used to be honest expressions. You know, experience was there. When you go to a religious building, it was kind of dedication to God. When you go to institution building, it talked about a completely different language. When it went to the houses, shelter sector, it always talked about a domain of happiness and peace.
Absolutely.
Through materials, through technologies, through the sheer design. How did you bring a domain of happiness? Is the question that we were trying to answer over the centuries. So, I mean, when you were talking about Poland, I mean, you were talking about No, let me also tell you this. This is my worry. I mean, as probably an outdated, you can
The
call me
future
outdated, this
generation.
is my worry. You know, you must have heard of Gautam Bhatia, who written so much about Indian architecture, Gautam Bhatia. He has actually, he was, in one of the books, he was talking about malaria dreams. In that particular book, he was talking about mixing of architecture. Spanish, Punjabi, Baroque, double Tiffany, double Tiffany. I mean, these kind of very diverse architecture styles are being implemented in the urban landscape. To me, it's a pain, more than experience. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, like, I agree. That's like really weird combination. But we are species that are growing. Like we know in Ahmedabad, we have a pizza which has pineapple and kosamari on top of it. So yeah, okay, fair enough.